Hey guys, it's Michael. I'm sitting here editing this podcast, and I just want to tell you the audio on this was a struggle. So I apologize if it doesn't sound perfect, but I appreciate you still tuning in and listening. This is a work in progress, so I appreciate y'all's grace. And yeah, let's get back to the episode. Man, you're running late. Your alarm clock.
You're about to get on a roller coaster.
I've never been on a roller coaster.
I'm sorry.
Hey guys, welcome to the Unmasked Podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Zach.
I'm Irie.
I'm Grace.
What was that?
He's being Darth Vader.
I'm Irie.
I'm Irie.
I'm
I think
Irie.
there's more breath to that, though.
Yeah, that was Irie, it's such a pleasure having you.
Yes, after such a long time.
After many
Months.
minutes.
Many
Oh,
moons.
Many moons of minutes.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. So, if you guys are a little confused, it's because we just filmed Grace's
Saturday short.
Recorded.
Saturday.
I like calling it that. I don't know if you're going to put it out on
I have
Saturday.
no
short.
clue. No, I'm gonna literally. I can
Saturday
auto
short.
schedule it. I'm gonna put it out at 11:59. So if
Cool.
you've already
Saturday
heard that
short.
one,
This is the next month Saturday. The next one we put out.
great. I gotta move the whole posting schedule.
Hey, you know what?
This might
This
be
is fun.
longer because I talk a lot. So
Go for it. Talk
All
as
right.
much as you
Yeah.
want.
talk a lot.
That's all right. We got no.
We've got a
I'm-
thing to record, and that's it.
That was yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Hey,
No
well,
camera.
we are excited to just sit and talk and see kind of what's going on, how you've been lately. I don't know. Anything that you feel like is laid on your heart that you feel like talking about?
Did you say heart?
Is it the sound beat?
It is, yeah. Irie doesn't have headphones
I don't
on,
have
so
the
he's
sound.
a little left out of the sound effect party we're having.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with these.
A little too much.
Let me see. Well, since we talking about it and it's going to help somebody.
Ooh, diving in. I'm ready.
Yeah. I feel I'm very misunderstood about my emotions and feelings and things that I went through.
Ooh, okay. So, like,
Yeah.
Like you feel you're misunderstood?
Yeah.
Why do you feel that?
Reason being is because I don't try to be like a jerk to people.
yeah.
I don't want to do that product of environment type
Yeah.
situation. But it's that I be trying to give advice just to whoever. I don't it's
Mhm.
not a certain individual. I know with my walk and everything, it's a certain way I gotta say things. It's
Yeah.
just everybody built differently.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't be I just be thinking I'll be misunderstood because I'm like, I don't think you get what I'm saying. I'm trying to help you. Don't take it a certain way. But it's like,
Yeah. So are you talking like generally, like when you're just talking to anybody about like things in the past, or you're like giving advice? Like, can you dive a little deeper? Like,
yeah,
what do
it's,
you?
it's like, okay, so for instance,
Yeah.
like one thing is like, okay, people call me selfish in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So
They call you selfish in your opinion?
their opinion. There you go. You're
Okay,
right.
okay.
So
I just wanted to clarify.
it's my actions, I would say my actions
Mm-hmm.
is probably the most unselfish thing about me, so to speak. It's just I'm not patting myself on the back. I just try to live by I put other people first, and like I always say, I got your back more than your spine do.
All
And
the
I
time.
be meaning that. Like I
Yeah.
really mean that.
He literally says that to me 3 times a week. I'm not even joking.
I be meaning it, and I'm like, cause I done been there, even from last podcast, like I done been at that level 1.
Yeah.
And I be doing my best what I can to help whoever I can help. And I go off of my experiences, and I
Mhm.
be thinking like I'm not trying to degrade anybody or one up everybody. It's just one of them like, hey, what you going through is really bad. Like, but I guarantee you can make it and you can get out of it.
Yeah.
And
It's like encouragement, right?
it's
Yeah.
encouragement. Then I be trying to, like, I give my own testimony of what I done went through. And I know everybody's not the same because like I done went through stuff, and I know my mindset is unorthodox from what people tell me. So I went to
It's not unorthodox, it's unique.
okay, well, unique. So unique, better
Yeah.
word to use, unique. And it's like that's where I be feeling like I'm misunderstood because I done went through this, how can I help you with my situation I done went through by not, I guess, not trying to hurt your feel, whoever, just in general, just, I ain't trying to rub you the wrong way. Like, I'm not trying to, like, everything I'm saying is coming from, like, I'm passionate about it and I'm really trying to help, or whoever it is. And it's like, how can I, like, I don't know. I'll be trying to work on other ways to say things, but I'm like, me being me, I'm like, I need to just say this straightforward.
Right. Yeah. So I think I have a good idea of what you're trying to say here. When you like respond to people or try to give advice and stuff, it's you're saying you're being misinterpreted, or kind of people are you're okay. Just going back to, because I know you. We've had some deep talk.
Yeah, for sure.
You're very black and white, which is not a bad thing, right? Like, you say it how it is, which is how
he absolutely is.
And so, like, I think it really just comes down to the person and who you're talking to, because not everyone receives that approach,
which is very true,
the same way. So like what you're able to say to one person you might have to say in a different way to someone else, for them to
receive
process it and receive it. Yeah, exactly. So I think it really just comes down to who you're talking to and knowing your audience, really, because like the way I'm going to talk to you and bring stuff up, completely different than how I would address things with, like, let's say my wife.
Got you.
Like,
or even me.
Or even Zach. Yeah, because like people handle things differently, and it's just once you learn who they are and how they process and understand things, like that's how you can cater it. And I think that's just part of developing deeper relationships with people.
Facts.
So
no, you're right.
Yeah. So like when you and I are talking, we just black and white.
Oh yeah,
like, hey, this is how it is. We're saying out of a place of love, and we both know that, right? So like if I like want to point something out to my wife, like she's a little bit more like, I need to be a little bit more delicate with her.
Yeah.
Like I
got you.
Is
more sensitive.
She's a bit more sensitive.
Which is not a problem.
Yeah, which isn't bad. It's just it's just knowing that and how she's gonna best receive it. And it definitely will not be the same as me talking to you.
And that's one thing that I know, even you, and that's one thing I know I need to work on.
Yeah.
Is just to get, like, when I be sitting, like, you said it right, but just misunderstood. I'm like, everybody came from backgrounds. Yeah. And I even come to this, I mean, going to Hope Church of Fort Wayne. Anywho.
Shameless plug.
Literally. And then meeting friends, family, like getting a new family, it helped me out with my emotions and talking and learning different, people's brain mentalities or feelings and emotions.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm still like, it's a deeper thing with me because I'm still wrestling with that. That's why I be feeling, majority of the time throughout the day, I feel like I'm misunderstood every time when I'm talking. Because like you said, I can talk to you flat out. I can talk to Grace different. Talk to Houston, Zach. Talk to Zach different.
He calls me Houston because I'm from Texas. If he calls me that, he's going to just know he's talking about me.
So I'll be talking to Houston, and then I got to take in other people's feelings, how they feel, like what you were talking about. How should I say this? And I'm so used to being like what you were saying, black and white, where I'm like, I'm saying this the most loving way that I guess Irie knows how to say or whatever, or talk to. And I'm like, I done still made this individual upset. So I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Then that's when that misunderstood feeling kick in. And I'm like, or what's the other one? And then going with the tide. Like going with the flow of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, then I get looked at as a bad guy. It just depends on, I guess, what it is or what we talking about.
Okay. That sounds like a completely
separate thing. Got you.
Let's come back to that, but I want to kind of finish. So in order for someone to misunderstand something, it means like what they're perceiving is different than what you're intending, right?
Yeah, and that's what you see, you smart, you went to school.
No.
You went to school too.
I would say
I guess most generally, when you feel misunderstood, right? And you feel like someone is perceiving something that you're not necessarily wanting to be portrayed, like, what is, like, how are they interpreting it? And then what are you trying to get out? Like, I don't know. You can use specific examples. You can make it general. What does that look like?
Okay, like, for instance, we can speak on anxiety because I'm pretty sure everybody went through anxiety and went through all that stuff. Is that
at
cool?
some point,
least-
some way.
Okay.
At least all of us in the
I
room
wouldn't
have.
meet a single person. No, I think everyone in the world has had some form of anxiety.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
There's no way no one hasn't. Like,
I believe that.
man, you're running late. Your alarm clock.
You're
is
about to get on a roller coaster.
Dude, your
never
Pop
been on
Tart
one.
looks a little
I'm sorry.
like it's gonna burn. Stuff like that. Like there's
Stage fright or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just stuff like that. We done
I
been
mean,
through.
yeah, there's like medical outliers, but like
Yeah,
I'm
for
talking
sure.
about general public. Like everyone's
Yeah,
dealt with
everyone's
it.
been anxious. Anyway,
So, and then because last time we talked months ago, it did open up my eyes to a lot of stuff. But it was like, because I went through anxiety. My biggest thing with my anxiety was a whole bunch of stuff. One topic, my mom had died. So I had a panic attack and anxiety, and I was thinking that I was going to get a panic attack or I was going to catch a stroke or something. So my anxiety was mad high. Now, my mentality used to be, I'm still working on it. My mentality used to be more of, okay, I went through it, like, come on, like, you got this. Like, I guess more of a tough love type encouragement. Like, I mean, well, just, I got to find a certain way to say what I'm saying, like, better.
Right.
Or better so they can take it out of love. But I would like to think, hey, you know who Irie is. Like, you know everything I'm saying is out of love. Well, I would like to say that.
Right.
So I'm like, I would think I could be straightforward with you and that you should get this. But then I'm like, nah, that's not everybody. And I'm learning from you guys from that. So that's why it's like, dang, am I getting misunderstood or do I really got to make this whole 180 or even drop down to them to a point where, like, why I got to sugarcoat what I'm saying or go around the bush just to get you to, like, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't think sugarcoating would necessarily be beneficial in this. I think
No, in my opinion, but that's just me.
But I think you don't necessarily have to sugarcoat what you're trying to get across by changing the approach. So, like,
That's okay.
I mean, it's really comes down to like how I don't know about you, but growing up, I was super sensitive to like people's tones and how they would talk to me.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
When I get misunderstood,
Same.
it's not what I say, but how I
you
say
say
it.
it, right?
Yeah.
So like, there's like certain individuals in my life who will like say stuff to me, and they don't mean it in like a mean or malicious or like any bad intent, but like their tone might be off, or I might be reading into it, and like depending on whatever circumstances I'm dealing with, and like that'll just be like, man,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna process it completely different than how they meant for
makes
that to come
sense.
across.
Certainly.
So like tone has a big deal with some people, not only musically, but like just like, you know, socially
you.
are just
Yeah,
tone
yeah,
deaf.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter how you say it to them,
Yeah.
but it's like if I'm gonna say it, or some are just super aware of the tone. So it's
Got you.
like, oh man, he had a weird inflection in his voice when he said whatever.
Yeah.
Some people hear things the way you would read an email.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Or like text.
Yeah.
It's like it really is like texting, you know? It's like if you're reading it with that, I don't know, mindset that they're coming at you or like whatever,
Mhm.
then it's gonna feel like they're
There's
coming at
no-
you even
yeah.
though they're on the other side.
And
Like there's so many tropes of that.
and sometimes you hear it how you want to hear it, regardless of how it's said.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's true too.
And then there's one quote that I heard, but I try to live by it. I mean, even from scripture anyways, but it was another one like, be careful because you'll bleed on the person that didn't cut you.
Yeah.
So I take that in the heart because, like I said, I learned so much from y'all guys and everything that I'm like, let me see the best way I can say this that to this individual, but I'm still making my point because I know I talk a lot, which I personally don't mind me talking a lot, like even now. But just
I don't mind you talking a lot. I
it
like
makes
it.
for great content.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So yeah,
Anyway.
it's just one of them things because and I could be talking from a place of hurt.
Yeah.
I could be talking from a place of just pain and stuff I done went through. Cause I have told Grace like some stuff I'm just numb to. Cause it's some stuff is just repeated, lead to a point where it's like, okay, well, how do I need to figure out how to separate this? And then just all this talking I'm doing is just coming down back from like I think I'm getting misunderstood. I feel like I'm getting misunderstood
Mhm.
because I got all the love for you, but I know like this right here, my mouth. I'm sorry, I'm acting like y'all can see me. My mouth.
Yeah, don't do any visual things.
Exactly. He's pointing at his
Our
mouth.
audience is strictly auditory.
and then I know my mouth. I mean, based off of scripture, but I know we talk about something else. But anywho, I know my mouth itself can like go down, can either uplift somebody or tear them down. But it's like man, like you will be fine. Not to tear you down. Like I'm like not trying to knock your feelings. Just hey, I done went through this. I'm here. I know somebody went through that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got this. Like you good. Like,
well, can I say
for
something?
Sure,
I'm gonna jump in here.
Yeah,
because you say, hey, you'll be fine. A lot of people relate that to what like their coaches in middle school would tell them they'd get hurt. Like, oh, you'll be fine. Get up and keep going. Yeah. That's how a lot of people are viewing that whenever you say that something like that. Not necessarily like you, but just in general, a lot of people are like, you'll be fine. Oh, you're just dismissing my problem and telling me that I don't matter. Basically, is how some people feel about that.
Yeah. And other people will be like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Then again,
everyone takes it differently.
It just comes, so I'm trying to find, I know what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I know the circle that I got is close, and I know, like, who's, that I would like to say I know who dealing with what and what we can talk about or how I can talk to this person.
Right.
But I'm still... That's just one of my struggles, mental things. Like, I feel like I'm misunderstood, but I probably, again, need to stop taking it so personal and just try to find a different way to say stuff to individuals by getting my point across. But then again, like you said, now that I think about it, it probably is just based on that individual. And it's like, then it's like, no matter how I would say it, they probably still gonna take it this way or still feel like this. And I'm like... And I've been getting or used to still say, I'm like, hey, I mean this out of love, gentleness, peace. Like, I don't want nothing bad. Then I say what I got to say in the best way I know how to say it.
Right.
Because I talk a lot.
Yeah. Well, it comes down to like those two factors, like you said, like you have, and the one you have control over and one you don't. So like you have the control of how you're going to say that message, how you're going to bring it up or how you're going to address something, but you don't have control over how they receive it. So you can only manage what you can do on your end. So like, I'm going to ensure that I am having a tone that's going to be easy and acceptable. I'm going to make sure that the words I use are going to be in a inviting way or whatever it is, you know, but like,
I feel you.
You could do all of that right. And then that person could still like take it wrong. But like, honestly, as long as you have the right intentions and like you know that
where your heart is, I feel you.
Comes down to that individual as well. So it's not just all you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I took that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say because sometimes someone told me this. I don't know how true it is. I'm sure it's mostly true. You can control how you react to things, which you can.
But yeah.
So it's not all on you.
And that's the thing, because what's the word? I would like, in my opinion, just me, I know, like, I would like to say I'm one of the less selfish individuals. Than I would like to say that. I know when people say,
I will validate that.
I would agree.
I'm just saying because it's just, it get to a point where, and this is true, it got to a point where I will get in my car and just cry about it because I'm like, I'm trying to do like, I even will ask God flat out, hey, give me other people's burdens so they ain't got to carry it. Like, even when we talked about his situation, I'm like, hey, give me Houston's burden so I can carry it or help him carry it. And I teared up because I'm like, I done been there and I done been through my past. So I'm like, I done got through that. Let me take some of his burden, your burden, or whoever burden, put it on me so I can go ahead and help them out. And it's these prayers that I be praying. Also, it's like, I'm still working. Like I'm still working on a lot of stuff, and I still take what people tell me, like, hey, you're selfish in this area, selfish in this area, unselfish. Then I gotta juggle. I'm like, am I being selfish, or am I just not doing what you want me to do, or am I going against something you so used to that when you actually see a different side of it or something different, you take offense to that, get annoyed, are you bothered? Are you intimidated? Like, am I the problem? Like, what can I do to fix it? You feel me?
It's
but that's just
good
me.
to have like those talks with those people. Like, if there's a specific person that you say something and they tell you that you're being selfish, then it is good to not just ignore it, to actually like talk with them, but like in a respectful way where it's just two people coming together, just trying to figure out, okay, well, is it something I'm doing? Is it something, like you said, is it just you're used to it and you're feeling that way? But it's definitely like a good thing. Like I've picked up that it's a good thing to always talk about this stuff, because if you just let it linger, then the person can just keep calling you selfish when you're obviously not. And it just like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, kind of like what you were talking about earlier, like having the ability to confront and have those conversations like, hey, I didn't mean for it to come off that way. If that's how you took it, this is what I meant.
Yeah.
And that like a lot of times like that clarification, especially if afterwards you notice like, oh man, they did not receive that the way I wanted them.
Yeah.
That it's like, there's nothing wrong with like clarifying like, hey, I don't know what happened, but like, I don't know if you took that. I wouldn't say it like that, but like, hey, I'm not sure if I came off incorrect or whatever, but I want to clarify and state this is what I really meant, you know? And man, that's hard. Just learning how to communicate with people in general can be a very difficult thing, especially when it comes to like giving advice, because people receive advice. Some people just don't receive it at all. And it just,
and I'm going to go here. We live in a society that needs to feel validated in everything we do. And whenever we're not validated in something that we shouldn't be validated in, we get upset because we want the validation selfishly.
For sure.
So it could be someone else seeking that you're telling, hey, I think you should, you need to work in this area to get better as a person because I see it causing these problems. And, there's a lot of people out there who would just get offended just because you told them they're doing something wrong whenever we live in a, hey, I need validation, I'm seeking approval kind of culture.
That's so true. That's so true. Especially knowing you, like you're going to say things how they are and not sugarcoat them.
Yep.
So like, and I don't know about you, I have a hard time hearing like, if I'm doing something wrong at times, right? Like who doesn't? And so like whenever you're coming, even if it's like out of all the love in the world, it's like, hey, like as your friend, it is my responsibility to call this out or to help give advice. And I think I think we're kind of getting to what you're talking about.
Yeah, because go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
Because to me, like first, this is an emotional topic for me to a point. Like I would probably start shedding tears because it's like I love you guys so much. Like
I love you too.
I
wish there was an aw button.
Yeah, I love y'all guys so much, and then it's like what can I do to help? And then again, like I know I can't carry them burdens for y'all, and it's like I gotta tell you this straightforward because you mean that much to me. So it's like I gotta be straightforward and like tell you. Like I don't know.
I got this mental image in my mind, and we're talking about spiritual stuff and whatnot. So like, you say like carry the burden for me. Like that's awesome. That's such a great gesture. But like we talked about last time with Grace, it's like we cannot stand in her place. We can't take on whatever she's doing for her. She's got to do it. But what we can do is we can stand around and support. So like, that's what you can do. I thought of like Moses and he's holding up the staff and it's like, he was told to hold up the staff so that the army could win the battle. Right. But what the people around him did was they came around and they held his hands,
his arms up.
And so Aaron came up and he held his arms up. Aaron didn't come and take the staff and hold it for him. That's not what he did. And so like for us, when we're going through things, when people around you are struggling with whatever situations are going with, like you can't take the burden from them. Yeah. As much as we would love to do that,
man.
But what we can do is we can let them know that we're supporting them and standing next to them and that we're there for them. I think and once you realize that, I think that's going to help a lot with oh man, I need to do something more than, hey, how can I help? What can I do to be there?
Yeah.
Like, but
I was going to just say, and for those of you wondering where that story is that he just told about Moses, it's in the Bible in Exodus. So I'm not going to tell you where it's at. Just go read Exodus to see what God did.
Just read the entire book of Exodus. And you'll find it in there. But before you read Exodus, you should probably read Genesis.
Actually, I think you should read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John first.
Exactly. Before you read.
I would say start with Mark. Go there. Okay.
Facts. So it's like, what y'all say, that's just, because again, like I always got something to talk about, always, and especially if it's to help whoever's listening, just one of them like.
That's so selfish of you, Irie.
Man.
Dang, how selfish of you to want to help others.
How dare you?
And then it's also a struggle, and I'm not trying to put not trying to put everything on my background, how I grew up and all that stuff. It's just like a lot of stuff, like, tell me, like what you were saying, like be straight, like I guess again, like you were saying, just depending on the person. Tell me if I'm doing, like be straight up with me. Like let me know, like, hey, you being stupid or whatever. I don't know, but
I haven't said that to you, but I will from now on.
Yeah, like
you're doing something dumb and say, hey, you're being stupid.
Yeah, like
stop.
I've done that to you before.
Literally. So it's like me being Irie is just like how I take it. Me being me, I look at it as a sign of like a respect.
Yeah.
I'm like, you care enough.
Yeah, me being Michael, like I agree with that. I would say that like
I like that. I like that. I like that.
I would say like I mean like we are friends. It's our job to kind of keep each other in check.
See, man?
And so like and that goes for those around us. Like if you see toilet paper on my shoe, you're
I'm never gonna tell you. You're gonna walk around with
toilet paper on my shoe.
I might just take it off your shoe though. No, I won't. You're gonna walk around. You're gonna have a tail for like 3 weeks.
A real friend's gonna be following you, recording. Like, look at this doofus.
Record it first, then let you know. Hey,
like, oh, hey, look at this video I got of you.
But no, just me being misunderstood about that, because I'm like, because it's been, even recently, I just sat out and cried. I'm like, God, like, I'm trying to change. Ooh.
No, you're good.
Okay. I've been telling God, like, hey, I need to change, like, help me be better husband, like, father, best friend of people. Like,
yeah.
I know what I went through. Those are cards I got dealt with. I get that. And I got choices to make. And I'm like, how can I, like, if help me, long story short, recently I was crying because I'm just telling God, I'm like, bro, I'm trying to change. Like, God, like, I'm doing my best to change. Like, I want to change, like, a lot. Like, help me to where I can just be just what people need me to be, but still be Irie.
Yeah.
Be man of God, but just be myself. And what can I do to change, but still be me? Then it got to the other topic we was talking about going through, going against the tide or the wave of people, like, what is the word I'm looking for? Ideology with stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter what it is, just in general, because I'm like, you beat to your own drum. I mean, obviously you follow God, but I'm like, you beat to your own drum.
Right.
Houston beat to his own drum. Grace beat to her own drum. I beat to my own drum.
Well, you're a drummer.
I've got awful rhythm, so definitely not. We're not on the same drum, but yeah, we're all.
I'm like, because, like, for instance, because I said a quote. Well, this is for me, and it rubbed somebody the wrong way, but it was more like unapologetic, because I'm like, everybody's them, and I don't hate you for being yourself.
Right.
It's always a way out of stuff. Like, so for instance, I'm like, I do what I want to do. I do what people ask me to do because I want to, and I do what people tell me to do because Irie wants to do it. If you get what I'm saying.
Right.
So it's like and then I say stuff like that, and people just look like,
right.
Like, what you mean? And then I start like, okay, if you don't like something, you don't like it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be pointing no fingers or like that. I mean, you can't see it, but yeah, Houston pointing fingers.
I was just doing it for fun.
Oh, well, yeah. So, and then I know it's a time and place for all of that.
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
Sacrificing, compromising, those two, we'll talk about that. I'm working better with that. I don't like those two words, but I'm working better at it. I'm doing better.
Welcome to relationships.
Exactly. So I'm doing better with that, and I'm learning. Like, I'm still curious to learn. It's just like, again, like what Houston was talking about, society we live in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you got your own ideology. How you pronounce it?
Yeah, you're saying it right.
Ideology for whatever you believe in.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I got a question for you.
Yeah, talk to me. Listen.
Would you consider yourself a people pleaser?
No. I don't. No. I would say no, just based off of the fact of, am I people pleasing?
Do you want other people's approval on everything you do?
Nah.
Okay. There's your answer.
No.
I would never have viewed you as a people pleaser.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with the people pleasing or
like that trait being
I didn't grow up with that.
Well, I asked that because like the problem that you're bringing up is a very people pleasing problem.
Yeah.
Of like you wanting like you want like it's a good thing because you're considering people's feelings and how they're interpreting what you're saying, but you can only do so much of that because you cannot make everybody happy. And that's the hard thing is like as much as we would love to make everyone around us happy and like all our opinions like don't affect like everyone has different opinions and some people are going to hold on to theirs a little bit more and they're going to value them a lot more. And so if you say anything that contradicts, it's going to create some friction. And that's just the reality of it. So my advice would just be keep doing you. Live unapologetic within means. I mean, don't be a jerk about it, right? But
and that's not my intention.
And I know because you're like super respectful about it. You're like, hey, I think we have lost the concept, and this goes for anything. This goes for ideology, like political, religious, any sort of opinion that someone can have. It's so easy these days to just 100% like. There's no give or take. There's no leeway.
We've lost the ability to receive constructive criticism or give constructive criticism.
There's no conversations anymore. It's just, this is how it is. And if you don't agree, then get out of here.
Yep.
And that's just a super unhealthy mindset to have. But unfortunately, we've seen that just kind of take over. Which,
and I think, my bad.
No,
you talk.
Okay. I think that probably is my biggest problem.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why I feel misunderstood because I didn't think it's times we done got salty with each other or however, and we still come back and I still love y'all.
I can think of one specifically a few weeks ago on a Thursday night.
Oh my
and we're still good. We're still good.
And this is the thing about it. I don't hold, again, this is me. If we can have that type of talk or
we talked it out right there.
Yeah.
We didn't like wait and let it like simmer or fester. I hate that word. We didn't wait and let it get worse. We talked it out right there and then we left feeling good.
And then my thing is that if we can have those type of
dialogue,
I say just conversations.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't look at it as confrontation. I'm just like, he the homie. Let's have these talks.
Well, I think that just shows good emotional maturity.
Yeah.
If you're able to have those talks and have those like not so easy talks. And I think that's one thing that I love about this environment is that we can do that. Like, I don't want to create a environment within this podcast or even just outside of this in my day-to-day conversations that you have to tiptoe around my feelings. Yeah. Like, I want you to speak your mind, to be heard, but you can do that respectfully. And in turn, the same thing goes to you. So it's like, I think that's how things should be. Now, is that how things necessarily are?
No,
in every relationship?
No.
Unfortunately, no. But yeah, it's just knowing that some people aren't going to be at that same emotional maturity when it comes to settling differences. And so not to take that out harshly on yourself. I mean, I still encourage you to evaluate things on your end. Like, am I coming at it the wrong angle? Was this the time and place? Like, stuff like that. But like, in the end, like, you can only control so much. And I'm a control freak. And so that's like coming from me. It's so hard. I want to make sure, like, I would actually consider myself more of a people pleaser. Like, I want to make sure the people around me are happy and I'm not offending people and I'm not like stepping on toes, but like, it really.
Please don't step on my toe.
Yeah,
you said toe, not toe.
I broke my toe for the listeners, so that's a joke. Anyway,
for the
I broke it for the listeners. Yes, I did it for you guys.
Wow, talk about selfless. No, so but no, man. I think ultimately, like, keep doing you. Always evaluate. You know, always evaluate. Like,
always get better.
And I think that's why it's important to have a good friend group around you that you can have these talks and then have friends that you know that aren't afraid to call you out.
Please do.
Don't worry.
I've been getting called out since like this, like
Right.
For the listeners, he is putting his hand near the floor.
I mean, yeah.
Saying he was short and then up higher towards
like,
the ceiling.
Like when you grow up hearing like, hey, you better stop before I break my foot off and you know what.
Yeah.
Like when you grow up hearing that, like when you grow up hearing that, it's at this point, it's like, it ain't too much. Like, just let me know. Like I have, in my opinion, I just have more respect or, hey, you actually got love for me that you could put your feelings aside, my feelings aside.
And again, like your environment has led you to where you can handle that, right? Like words aren't going to hurt you as much. So a lot of people,
words still hurt, yes, so just not.
Oh yeah, but
not as I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I agree. You're good.
Just not as much. And then I'm still learning I so much. That's what I'm saying. There's so much I could talk about, bro. Like,
well,
it's so much.
We'll have to have you back and unpack more of your inner thoughts.
Yeah, that was the one, just being misunderstood. But you explained it more, and then the other one just going against what Houston said. It just people ideology and any type of disagreement, or if you go against that, they just shun you off. And
I'm not a professional, nor am I a therapist, so these are all my opinions, so do not take me.
Yeah, for sure, for
anything
sure.
I say as gospel.
It makes sense.
On that note, those of you out there who are holding a grudge against somebody, go talk to them.
Please.
Go fix it.
Please.
It's not healthy. It's not good for you. As a matter of fact, that's something I'm going to encourage you and challenge you to do over the next however long until the next podcast.
Please.
Find that person. Tell them what the issue is. Tell them if you're in the wrong. Go tell them you feel bad about it, because that's another thing. Anyway, go talk to them. Just talk to people. Just do it.
Zach's out here signing homework. I like it.
Yeah. Hey, this is the Unmasked Podcast. We can't walk around, not fixing problems.
That's deep. I like it. Well, thank you, everyone. Irie, thank you so much for stepping up.
Thank you, and thank you, Grace, for coming to this room in my house with blankets on the wall and
I've been here
having
before,
a microphone in front of your face.
That's crazy.
Hey, authentic, being straightforward. I like it. Picasso.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Unmasked Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can find more content like this on our website at unmaskedculture.org. While you're there, consider supporting us by making a donation. Your donation will help us pursue our mission to change how the world views mental health. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, start the conversation.